Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to our channel. We are preparing for a late frost.
Yeah, we're gonna show you a couple ways that we like to cover things. These are unexpected times with the frost coming, and our plants are already up and big and we don't want to lose them.
Yeah, it doesn't usually freeze this late in the year, but we've learned from the new place where we've moved to from where we were, it can be a totally different climate on this side of town versus just the other side of town where we used to live. So we're prepared. We've got a bunch of tarps and we're getting ready to spread them out all over the place. But we're also having to implement a couple other things and get creative to cover our plants. The internet says it's supposed to get down to about 35 tonight, but we've learned if it gets that close to freezing, it's better to be safe than sorry. We're just going to cover anyway, even though it's not technically freezing.
All right, so come and see how we cover our plants. All right, we're gonna start with our potato patch. If you haven't checked out that video of the potato update, I'll leave a link up above. But these potatoes are quite large, so we are gonna use a big tarp that you can see over here to cover this part of our garden, and we're gonna put it down with some rocks as weights. Right down here we have a little baby melon, so I'm just going to use some mulch to cover them. It's a great protection if you don't have a bucket or a tarp, but there you go, and it'll be protective. And then we're going to want to pull that away first thing in the morning, which I'll show you tomorrow.
Now time for some of the big ones.
Another way you can cover your plants are buckets. You could contact your local bakery, or they even sell them if you want to buy them at Home Depot or places like that. But this will trap some of the warm air around your plants. It'll protect them from a mild frost. And where we live, it's quite windy, so we like to put a rock on top of the bucket. So you put it upside down and you put a rock right on top of it to hold it down in case the wind picks up. You want to try to do this when the sun is still up. That way it has a chance to capture some of that warmth under the bucket. So let's get covered. Out of bucket, so we're getting creative. I have a flower pot I'm not using. These buckets actually are from our fruit trees that we planted, so use what you have because that's what we're doing.
We've learned you never throw away buckets. There's always a good use that you can find for them on a homestead. part of really trying to utilize as much of our garden space as we can this year for food growth. We went ahead and in between our squash and stuff, we just went ahead and planted a row or two of corn in between each section. And since they're in a long straight row, also have some old plastic gutters laying around that we haven't used for something else. That works pretty well to just cover over that straight row.
Some of our tomato plants are quite high, so we put cinder block throughout to keep the tarp up off of the plants so that hopefully they won't be snapped off by the tarp. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And that about wraps her up for the evening. This is gonna, just this light layer will be enough to keep the warmth insulated around the plants. And not gonna lie to you, if it looks like it's kind of a pain, that's because it is. It's not easy to try to get all this stuff out onto the plants and trying to finagle the big tarps over everything to try to protect them. But like anything else in life, anything worth having is gonna take work. Our hope is that if we can get these guys through the frost, then it'll be, hopefully, the weather will be smooth sailing from here on out, and we won't have to worry about this ever again. So if this seems like it's a lot of work, we just tell ourselves it's only for these couple of nights when we have this last little cold snap before the summer hits, then we won't ever have to do it again. It really helps to just be in that mental mindset. But that's it for tonight. We'll see you in the morning.
Well, good morning. It's the next day and we got close, but we didn't end up freezing last night. But that's okay. It's better to be safe than sorry. After you put in all this work in a garden, it would be so sad to lose it over a frost. So anyway, let's get these plants uncovered. It's about 8 in the morning. I want to get this cover off of the plants before it gets too hot with the warmth that's trapped under these covers, and it can actually cook your plants. Problem with mulch, the mulch works, but the one thing I don't like is that sometimes it can be hard to find where your plant is. That's why it's so great to have these wooden stakes, so I know exactly where to look for to uncover. right, I'm gonna get these tarps laid out on the grass so they can dry out, and then we can fold them up and use them again next year.
And that pretty much sums up how we do things in the middle of an unseasonable frost. Rachel was out there covering all that up. Sorry, sweetie, I couldn't get to helping you. I had some errands that I had that needed doing first thing this morning, and by the time I got back, she already had them all uncovered. So.
And we're not much of gambling people, so when it gets in the 30s, we're like, maybe we should cover, and so we do it even if, like today, it didn't freeze, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
And it should hopefully be the last time for the season, so that'll be okay. If you happen to have friends that live in a similar kind of climate where they just have unseasonable frosts, maybe you can share this video with them and give them some ideas of what they can do to protect their food in the garden. But until then, we'll see you in the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.